on air, just pure confusion.
Yeah.
Pure confusion. And a year on, of course, we are here to talk more about this incident because of the reasons for which these individuals embarked on that journey, embarked on this assignment. I mean, even beyond that, mourning these personalities, it goes beyond their professional portfolio. These are fathers, these are brothers, these are husbands, these are providers, these are pillars of their society, these are friends.
Entire lives were built around them.
And for me, when I heard Murtala, I thought, oh, comrade, I was sad. I was so sad. I always say he's one person that gave me confidence in this space. I remember doing one of such interviews with him in 2020 in the old studio, and I'd only just started. I'd only just relocated, trying to find my feet, and it can be very intimidating when they know that you're kind of green and you're also figuring it out. But he made all our interactions very human, very easy, and I thought, you know what, I can do this job. They're human just like we are. You know, I can put it to them, and I can also ask my questions, and I will get that audience. And it is well.
It is well, right? Okay. I don't know where you were at that on that fateful day when the news broke as well.
In fact, I was somewhere around West Hills Mall, when I heard the news. I mean, just like Helen said, the speculation of the president's involvement, sent a lot of shockwaves, because that's the president of the republic. Not to say the rest were not important, but so it was a very disturbing news. We were trying to fact check the news, and we heard from credible sources like TV3 and the likes, and we know it wasn't speculation any longer, But let me touch on what I was doing at the time of the
incident.
I actually put it together in writing last year. So a year on, I just read some bits of it. I titled it "Let the Dead Bury Their Dead: A Nation in Grief and a Republic on Trial." Whilst I was still penning a tribute to Chachu Chikata, a rare privilege granted me by my senior brother Franklin Kujo. Yes, senior brother, not by blood, but by bond. A bond formed in the crucible of public truth-telling and the quiet duty of always putting Ghana first. I found myself pausing, often marveling at Chachu's literary brilliance. One essay stood out like prophecy, Buzia, Nkrumah, and Funeral Politics, published in 1978. A masterclass in reflection. It warned us about the political theater that so often accompanies death in our land. It urged us not to trade memory for manipulation, not to confuse mourning with optimism. And then the news broke. A military helicopter had crashed in Adanse, Akrofom. 8 souls aboard, all feared gone. All of them taken, carried by the sky, called by duty, and claimed in silence. The symmetry was too cruel to miss. That on the very day we passed to honor a man who taught us how to think deeply about death, state, and memory, the Republic would suffer such a blow from the sky. So just to, remember deeply what I was doing. Chachu was just about commemorating his 50th anniversary.
That's right.
At law, and we were supposed to be penning a tribute for him. when we heard the news, and it's such a rare coincidence. But I had just finished reading his publication on Buzia and Kroma and funeral politics. Just a few moments afterwards, when I heard the news. So a year on, I mean, we are still subtly mourning the gallant eight, and we wish their families well, their loved ones, especially the younger brides, the wives, the younger wives, and the very young children as well. Our heart goes to them this morning.
Very, very, very young children, and I think it's also very important that we mention the families, right? Because some of the families were inconsolable on that day, and in the aftermath of the many state events which were held in their honor. It was really heartbreaking, in sincerity. The manner in which they had to go, and it's a completely different story when you lose someone, and I mean, if you know the person wasn't well for a while, there's a certain expectancy of the fact that okay, as they are not getting well, then maybe you could lose them, but not hail hearty in a crash, explosions, fire, charred bodies. That becomes a very, very difficult thing to take for anybody, right? And today we'll talk. We'll seek to ask a bit more in terms of questions 8 years on, not 8 years on, a year on, really, whether we're doing enough in memory of these 8, such that it doesn't become just another unfortunate event in the history of the country, with respect to what they were seeking to go and do, and what the status quo is as we speak as well.
I thought we could potentially, or let's just run through who exactly it was that lost their life on that unfortunate day, for the uninitiated, or just to refresh our memories on who these individuals were. So Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boama, Minister for Defense, whose role has not as yet been filled. It's a conversation to also be had. And for those who knew him, they described him as a tactician. When it comes to elections, if you listen to members of the NDC, they'll tell you that they credit that 2024 win.
He was the director of elections.
Very heavy. They credit him with that win, with the tactics, with his strategy, with the planning, and how he was able to really help their fortunes, in that election. Then, of course, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Alhaji Muniru Mohammed, Deputy National Security Coordinator, and then Dr. Samuel Sapon, NDC Vice Chairman. Also on board the helicopter that day was Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah, an engineer. And then you have Chum Ampedu, Mane Chum Ampedu, flying officer. Samuel Abuaje, former parliamentary candidate. And then squadron leader Peter Anala. These are the gentlemen who were aboard the helicopter that crashed last year. And around this time last year, they would have had no idea that they were about to break the internet, break the news, break hearts. They would have woken up thinking, well, another day for me to embark on this national assignment. They set off from their homes, they got on board the helicopter and never returned.
Who would, right? Who would engage or embark on a journey if they know or they knew it was one they'd never return from?
Yes, they didn't. They barely knew they were born in history. I mean, I like to capture it that way. I mean, they didn't think they were born in history, but but that's exactly what happened. They did. And I mean, Ghana has moved on to a certain extent. They've been absent from the news for a long time. But for a widow, a child, a parent, a friend, the wound is still fresh. It's been 12 months of empty chairs. I mean,
and a warm smile of a father.
Yeah.
It was all fathers,
Yeah.
right? Squadron leader Peter Bafemi and Nana, his wife had just put to birth. There was a baby in her arms and all of that, and she was having to deal with the fact that the support system, perhaps in that very early first few months, was not going to be there to enable and help you get on with the difficulties and all of that. Certainly, one that we cannot forget for a lot of us who were neck deep in all of that. And it's a story I haven't told much, right? But the day before that unfortunate incident, I happened to have met the environment minister at the time at a separate event where he had it speaks to the warmth, the sort of person he was. Like Helen was saying, that her early days starting out in this job and him providing a bit more in terms of assurance and support.
That's right.
I think I'd hosted an event where he was seated, and then afterwards he came to me. They were taking pictures. I went up to him and he was like, "Oh, did fantastic work," and all of that, and keep it up. And he says there were plans of an event by the Environment Ministry as well, and so we were talking in relation to it, and he had asked that, "Oh, if possible, you come by so that we have conversations in relation to it." And then the following day, I was on the news, and he happened to have been one of the individuals who had left and never returned in body bags and all of that. It was just
sad. He only just recently acquired his PhD, I think, right?
Yes.
Only very
Freshly,
recently.
actually.
Fresh. And I remember he'd been doing it for a while. Every time we met, he was saying, I'm almost there. It was something I was very excited about. I was listening to him on the floor of Parliament before his demise, and I think he'd been to Germany, and he was studying how they recycle. He was getting into issues concerning pollution. He was talking about bottle caps and how in other parts of the world the bottle caps don't fully come away. It's such a minute detail, but I remember as I was listening, I was thinking, that's why we pay for you members of parliament and government officials to go outside there, go and learn the thing and bring it back, and let's implement it. And he was so excited. He was saying, let's start passing these laws to ensure that how we're dealing with the plastics and recyclables, and talking about what he'd learned and the energy with which he was speaking, and the excitement and the enthusiasm. It was very infectious, and I thought, this is somebody that appears to want to make a change. He's actually studied hard for this, received his PhD, and is actually putting it into practice. We might see some results from this enthusiasm, and such a loss to the state, and the 7 other gentlemen as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a saying, it says, to the world, you might just be one person, but to one person, you are their entire world. And I know today their loved ones are, going to be deeply sorrowful. And like Kay said, the world moves on. This morning, we have the papers in front of us. Some of them don't even acknowledge, what is going on. The wheels keep turning, and the only thing you and I can do is to live a life that is meaningful, contribute as much as we can, so that when it's our time,
one day,
somebody can also get on the mic and say, what a wonderful
and the
woman.
Grand Leveler calls.
Yes. Somebody can say, Kekujo, solid guy, nice guy, no hard drink, but this was his contribution, or these were his contributions. We can only hope that when it's our time, people only have good things to say about us.
Absolutely. We can get into the papers a bit more right now this morning as well. A number of them are here this morning. Helen,
yes.
Since you're already in the driving seat.
This one I haven't seen. The Spider, Anansi paper.
Oh, we've had the Spider
It's been around for a while now.
For a while. Okay, I see. Very interesting.
It's Anansi paper.
Okay. The Spider. And this is their tagline. We are the spider in your home. Hey, Spider, take time. The front page has this to say: Ghana bets on AI, get fund UNESCO seal deal to digitize TVET. Full details on page 3. NDC in the spotlight, roadmap row and a chairman's riddle. Asedun Ketia keeps rivals guessing. And that is captured on page 6. Countdown to August 26. Ghana moves to unlock Volta Lake's billions. VRA, GIF, and 24-hour Secretariat begin high-stakes talks on master concession agreements as Chief of Staff warns negotiators no excuses. And Kwao Kese threatens protest over death trap road. Speaking of protests, there's one that should be starting any moment now.
Yes.
Of course, we'll be keeping you in the loop. This is the New Patriotic Party's demonstration against what they say is an attack on democracy. They're chronicling some 42 attacks, they say, on free speech perpetrated, they're saying, by this government. A lot happening on that sphere, but we'll bring that to you as well. The Ghanaian Times this morning: President Mahama inspires African Caribbean youth to become problem solvers. President is saying that we should include the Caribbean in this free trade within Africa. But dare I say, even on the continent, it has not taken off. It's something that is dear to my heart. This AFTA deal, we're losing out on millions, on billions. I mean, when was the last time you bought something from Rwanda, or from Morocco, or from SA, or from where? Let me show you this.
Maybe wines.
Directly from there.
No, not directly.
I mean, we're supposed to be trading amongst ourselves with limited wahala. This bag here came from one of our womanpreneurs that we used to host. I think she was Rwandan, made entirely from recyclable materials. This is plastic, this is paper. Imagine free trade is booming. You could get yourself something as wonderful as this.
So the beads?
No, this is recycled. This is paper. Recycled paper.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Looks really good.
Thank you. From the African continent. But you have to come all the way.
And
get on a flight.
Hard as well.
Hard as well.
Quality.
Durable. I've had it for a year. Free trade. We're missing out. We are missing out. Anyway, that was by the by. Let me carry on. Sticking with the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Negotiations begin on flagship Volta Corridor project. Also, water quality improves slightly, but illegal mining still a threat. Full story on page 13. Headmaster battling for life. School closed down. Obuasi sectec disturbances. And we're told some students have been picked up after assaulting their headmaster, beating their headmaster.
Yeah.
What is going on in our secondary schools? Well, Ga Manche backs GMTF, urges more investments in medical research. And you've got Nitaki Teiko True, the second picture here on the front page. The Hawk newspaper has this to say: we've lost our brains. I beg your pardon. Mustapha Hamid admits NDC has taken over NPP intellectually. Oh, I see. I thought he was speaking to the general populace for a second. I was going to say, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not speaking to me. It's all right. He says the NDC has overtaken NPP intellectually, and he says he wants to be the bridge that brings academics back. It's very interesting. The Hawk newspaper, I don't know what you are inferring here. You've put 3 individuals' picture along with that story. You've got Alhaji Osman Masaudu, the one that knocked our microphone. And then you've got Chairman Wuntumi here, and also...
is that Chairman Buga?
Chairman Buga.
Chairman
I was looking for the name. I didn't know that was
yes,
his last name. You've got Chairman Wuntumi here, and also Abronye on the page. I don't know why they've chosen these individuals to go along with that story.
The mischief the They are the only ones who can speak to it.
If you buy the Hawk newspaper, 4 cedis this morning, you too can infer what you will. Bahamas 2 cedi diesel cut revives Akufo-Addo's 4 billion cedi warning. Full story on page 7. Look at these mansions. Black Rasta puts spotlight on Dennis Miracle's frozen properties. And promise to marry or defy the law. Appeal court's 40,000 cedi award to jilted woman sparks legal storm. We've had cause to dissect this legal issue at some points. Was it last year or the year before, right here on the show? If you promise to marry somebody and you fail to do so, gentlemen, especially, I'm speaking to you, you could face legal ramifications. Some of you, everybody you see, I'll marry you, I'll buy your mama a house, I'll ding. There are legal ramifications behind that.
How do you go about promising marriage to anybody?
You could be paying a lovely lady 40,000 Ghana cedis because you are giving her empty promises. That's what I have. Okay.
Yes, for the daily guide, we have Obuase SHTS students beat headmaster over baby burial claims. 6 arrested. And Sedinam Tamaklo still caged. Kwache Ofosu averse. NPP, NDC lock horns over democracy, demo, copter crash, anniversary. Achimota Forest prayer camp fee increased to 10 Ghana cedis. That is for the daily guide. And then there's the catalyst. Ghana Medical Trust Fund extends a hand to prisons. And Sami Jemfi shreds Bento's 200 million claim. 5 legal errors that destroyed the Sedina Tamaklo conviction. Court of Appeal identifies defective charges, weak evidence, and burden shifting as fatal failures. Pentecost University lecturer hails President Mahamad's fuel price cut as strategic and timely. And then for daybreak, NPP hits streets today with anti-democracy demo. Ghana has sufficient fuel stocks, MPA. And IMF blows the cover of gold board losses. Records $14.5 of every $100 of gold purchased. Boost Energy's national security and the 90,000 liters of slop. Then the New Republic from my good friend David Tamaklo says, from AG's office to Galamsey Bonkers, Godfred Dame's snowballing scandals roll. From ambulance case to Angela List's Adamus. Another Akosombo disaster looms as Burkina Faso announces Bagri Dam spillage. Vice Chair race turns nuclear. Hamid versus the not up to scratch trio. Cocoa Board unveils
is it a deliberate
sweeping reforms
to go after the individuals or what? Because
but Hamid himself is facing, investigation and prosecution by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. He should give us a break.
He should give us a break.
Yes, he should give us a break. Because, I think the other day we made that point very clear, that the likes of Krobo Eduse, So if we talk about intellectual capacity, intellectuals who dip their hands in the public purse.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we wish him well. We pray the rule of law will prevail in his own prosecution in the MPA
That's right.
matter. But we also have Cocoa Board unveils sweeping reforms as nationwide stakeholder engagement begins on landmark Cocoa Board Bill 2026, 33 billion legacy debt. New law to rescue ailing cocoa. I think this Cocoa Board conversation should be tabled. Mr. Producer, good morning.
In fact, it's one of the many things
yeah.
we're going to get into. And
Yeah.
but I mean, today is one such days where you cannot really be having a conversation like that based on everything that's happening today. The protest is on. There's a 1 year memorial as well. And we'll connect with Christian pretty shortly. And
there is another one. Deportation bid backfires. CID Interpol run amok as Guinean asylum seeker vanishes. And there's a rejoiner. It says Apatu Plunge and Co. PRUC. The editor, the New Republic Accra, DSA, Ari. Demand for immediate retraction, front page apology, and notice to intended defamation act. We act as solicitors for Miss Angela List, our client, upon whose express instructions we address you. Editor's note. The New Republic has received a letter from Apatu Plunge and Co. PRUC, solicitors for Miss Angela List, demanding a retraction and front page apology over our publication describing her as the Galamsey Queen of Nzema and detailing how she allegedly used state power to seize an Australian mine. Interesting developments.
Those are the details of the papers. I'll take us online now, right? Video, heavy police presence as NPP holds democracy under attack demonstration in Accra today. Christian is on the ground, but we'll connect with Ibrahim first, right? I was talking about Ibrahim and the work he did on that day. Also, NDC releases timetable for 2016 constituency, regional, and national executive elections.
2016?
2026.
Okay.
2026. I think the mind is taking us 10 years back. Ghana secures 18.8 million grant to boost rice production. We've got $18 million to boost rice production.
Who gave us this 18 million?
Let me get the details of that. 18.8 million has been secured from Africa Development Bank Group. The board of directors has approved a grant. So this one you're not paying back. $18.8 million to improve rice production. Where is the money going to go? How?
Really? What is the plan? What is the detailed plan?
Tangibles.
The tangibles that are going to ensure that we are eating and enjoying local rice and not importing so much rice. I like made in Ghana rice. So some of it tastes very nice.
Yeah. In fact, some of it is exported and it has a very good market outside of the country. But the people, the indigenous don't eat it. $18.8 million.
That's not chicken
rice.
change.
That can set up rice milling factories and all of that, which we can see large scale level in terms of production.
You know, Mawina, no matter how well intentioned things are, for some awkward reason, it just becomes unbecoming. So my position now is the my shit.
So the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the eating. We'll see it when it happens. But,
but I mean, it's an awesome initiative. I mean, the industry. I double in the industry as well. So.
As what?
I'm an aggregator.
Okay.
I aggregate share nuts for export.
Okay.
Yes. And butter as well, and some other agro commodities.
I see.
So, I mean, I'm closer to the realities of the everyday farmers, and especially the women, the awesome women across a lot of the northern communities where I source, share nuts and butter.
Do you use it on your skin personally?
Yes, I mean it's my go-to product.
Same.
There's the ivory. There's the ivory butter and there's the yellow butter.
Which one is the okay? Same from the shea nuts.
Yes, but
so
the yellow is actually processed with tree bark.
That's what gives it the color.
Yes, that's what gives it the color.
Does it have superior properties to the kind of ivory colored one?
It depends, but most people think it helps more or directly with skin infections and things like that. Yeah, but some people prefer.
There's a bark, right? Once a tree bark is a part of the natural herbs, right?
That's all I use, shea butter. From head to toe. That's the makeup for the day. Bit of shea butter, small eyebrows, and you're good to go.
So if you've had Korea, ginger,
you are part of those facilitating the entire Korea value chain.
But are we adding, we talked about value addition to our natural resources. What are we doing in that space? I know you have a lot of these entrepreneurs who add fragrances to it and they whip it and they make it a bit more soft. What else can we really be doing to our shea? Is it the packaging we need to make more exciting, more sexy?
You'll be surprised,
what
but
can we do?
we're not doing enough at all, because if you look at the numbers, the stats, right, you realize about let's say 50% of Ghana's shea nuts are collected every year, and that's even a multi-million, business. So not to talk of if we were collecting even up to 80% of our nuts. And I think we haven't supported the women enough. We haven't created an enabling environment. It's something government needs to be very deliberate about. There's the Global Share Alliance, there's all these other organizations supporting, but government needs to take a position, just like probably they've done with gold or even cocoa. I say for share, it should be the same, because what we know is share butter from share nuts.
Other things
but you'll be surprised that even baby food, because there's styrene and there's olein, and these are like the premium. And when we export them overseas, these overseas companies process them, get that, they use that as a cocoa butter substitute, and that's how come even cocoa prices have dwindled over a while, because cocoa has a faster melting point, as compared to shea. So when it stays on the shelves longer, with the cocoa, it's not the same as the shea. So I think government needs to be a bit more deliberate, because, Guy, I'm telling you, it's big business.
That's where the money is.
And if government should be deliberate about it, our women, would have dignity in their livelihoods. Because if you look at what they go through to even provide for their families, like what they go through for us to have shea butter on the market, it's not dignifying. Sometimes when I smear it on my body, I think
you picture all of the things.
Yes, all of the things I've had to experience or I've had to see. So it's something they should do deliberately. The catch is that shea is not planted deliberately. The cattle eat the fruits, the shea fruits,
and the dung is where.
Yes, so the dung serves as primary manure for the shea, so it grows healthy. Sometimes it takes 15 to 25 years for a tree to grow, but because of the grazing, the trees grow in the wilds, and to even access these trees, so that these women are exposed to walking long distances. And you can imagine carrying these fruits so it can be processed, and the kernels and they're exposed to scorpion bites, snake bites, very harsh conditions when they collect the shea. So organizations and companies like ourselves that are doing business up in the north would usually support them to have better access, provide protective gear and things like that. And good morning, Madam Dora of Nuts for Growth. She's been our backbone in this industry, and Erica Jomer as well. They've been supporting positively. Dora, for instance, if I'm not lying, probably she has over 20,000 women collecting share across West Africa. And This is a woman government should pay attention to.
What's her name again?
Dora.
Alright.
from Nuts for Growth. You can check her out. I'll share a few links.
Please do. We'd
when you're
love
done.
to, speak with her
She'll have a lot to share.
and get some insights about this. Very, very dear to our hearts. How are we adding value? But this conversation must be had.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would be nice to get into it a bit more, right?
Yeah.
As to what all of this means.
I thought when I told you our views shared today, people say, wow, that's why your skin is sparkling. Can we hear it?
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's why the skin is sparkling. It's
Why?
glittering.
Why?
Thank you. Share
Fantastic.
Batamkwan.
Shea butter. Still on 3news.com.
Kelankuto.
Right?
Kelankuto.
Still on 3news.com. Not urges calm over BEC results, calls on dissatisfied parents to petition WAEC. Butler Barracks Commission to improve accommodation for personnel of Ghana Armed Forces. There's a story here which we were discussing earlier in the week, which there's an update on. No ban on used cars. Ghana Standards Authority clarifies vehicle import rules starting October 1. Right, we were talking about this and we were asking questions about what legislative instrument is backing them. The Ghana Standards Authority has clarified that the strict enforcement of the National Vehicle Homologation and Conformity Assessment Program from October 1 does not constitute a ban on the importation of used vehicles, encouraging all industry stakeholders to familiarize themselves with the applicable requirements. The GSA urged importers and distributors to take the necessary steps to ensure compliance before shipping vehicles into the country. Now, although according to public notice, I want to see the clarification they are providing. Okay, so there's a statement from them, but it doesn't provide a bit more in terms of answering some of the questions we were asking here yesterday. But let me take you to myjournal9.com, right? Judiciary is romancing the executive. Miracles Abuaji defends NPP's protests. NPP's democracy and attack demonstration comes off today. Lawyers for Hanan Wahab and Edubuahin protest vacation trials in petition to Chief Justice. So they've written to the Chief Justice asking that, look, you cannot allow us continue to sit during the legal vacation for trial in relation to these matters. What we know is that you can go for motions, applications and whatnot, but not sittings or hearings directly, and so you are not going to allow us enjoy the legal vacation too. They've petitioned the Chief Justice in that regard.
But Maureen, that conversation, let's look at what it really means, because there's been a lot of noise in that regard. I took some notes. I'd just like to read from a point or two. So Ghana's long legal vacation usually runs from 1st August to 30th September. And there's Order 79 Rule 1 of CI 47, which permits the Chief Justice to appoint a day, including a vacation day, for the hearing of cases when circumstances require. So the Supreme Court also recognizes that a judge may derive authority directly from the Chief Justice to sit during vacation. So once the Chief Justice issues a warrant authorizing a justice to sit, in this case Justice Francis Achibonga, to sit, the court does not become legally closed merely because August has arrived.
Yeah, I mean, the courts actually don't close in its entirety because they are vacation courts, right? They are holiday courts which allow for certain things to be done. I mean, people's right to say that all courts will be closed, I mean, it's people's right to be curtailed.
Yeah. Right? So there are stronger arguments may probably concern fairness, preparation, professional commitments, established practice, and things like that. But the relevant rule does not expressly say vacation trials are limited to emergencies, already commenced cases or matters involving personal liberty. It says the Chief Justice may appoint vacation dates as circumstances require. That makes this principally a challenge to how the discretion was exercised rather than proof that the Chief Justice had no power at all. So they may have to, in fact, they will have to comply, whether they like it or yes. they will have to comply.
It's looking like they are raising concerns as to being a part of it, and so
the vacation trials are not unlawful. So, just for the record, so those following choristers can appreciate that, the song was written by someone else and has been played before. Yeah.
All right. So that's 3news.com. That's my join line, right? Let me do City Newsroom quickly, and then we can get into a bit more of what we've planned today. NPP stages democracy and attack demo today. I don't feel safe. I feel my mouth will put me in trouble. Miracle Sabuaji is saying this. Ghana's per capita GDP growth has averaged 1.15% over 65 years, Professor Aka. While Ghana's economy remains structurally weak, Professor Aka identified 5 key challenges. Ghana Airports Company Limited adopts measures to clamp down on extortion at airport. Ghana Web, how bodyguards of Ewutu Senya East MP allegedly used tactical police uniforms to rob gold dealer. Hey. Things are happening now. Just compare Mahama to Opana and see the difference. Prophet Roger praises President's humility. He was strong during arrest. Now he can't walk. Asidun Ketia on Okatachi Free Fresh arrest. Confusion as church members fight police after alleged weed seller runs to God for cover. Ghana Web always has some very interesting details. But I'm going to take us to the protest ground first, right? Because there are a number of developments from there. Christian Yale is on the ground with a number of persons. I'm seeing he's speaking with Paul Adumotre, who's also on the ground. Let's take you there. When we return, we'll get into the one-year commemoration activities.
Times in the last 1.5.
Why people are arrested for what they say. Is it always as easy things as you put it?
It's almost 25 years ago since we repealed the criminal libel law. The criminal libel law was a law that was existing in our books, but it was used many times leading up to election 2000, and so many Ghanaians felt that the criminal libel law had to be repealed. Criminal libel means you can be criminalized, you can become a criminal for saying something. And that's what everyone abhors. We don't want people to be called criminals for saying something. The powerful people are powerful.
All right, so maybe in winding down, I want to find out from you, what do you expect to be done, or what do you expect to see at the end of this demonstration and the petitions that the party says it is going to submit?
We expect to see that those petitions are acted upon. But more importantly, we expect to see civil society, all Ghanaians, to complain about this. This is not an NDC problem or it's an NPP problem. There are people in NDC who, when they hear on the radio or they read online that somebody has been arrested for saying something, they get worried. That's Ghanaians. We love our democracy. And so more than the petitions, it's important for civil society, everyone to understand that what we are marching for is for democracy. What we are marching for is for the provisions of human rights in our constitution that is enshrined to be guaranteed. Something that we thought was guaranteed, it now looks like it's under threat. If we don't speak up now, then it will continue. If it continues, our democracy may die. Every politician who is powerful may not like people talking about him, but that is the catalyst for democracy. We have to do it. So we are here to march and we'll be successful.
All right, so that is Paul Adumotre. He also speaks on the same lines that there is a need to stand up against attack on free speech. But let me try to get Krabia Sante, the Deputy Communications Director of the NPP. Krabia, so, I mean, as it were, the indication was that we're going to converge here from 5 a.m. Now, I see now that more and more of your people, including your executives, are arriving. What is the expectation really for today?
Thank you very much for the opportunity given me. As you can see, yes, we indicated that we are together here at 5 a.m. But as you can see, momentum keeps building up. The people are coming in their numbers. All is set. You can see the security people here in their numbers. And let me commend the Ghana Police Service for the yeoman's job done. You can see the number of security men here. It clearly indicates that they are ready to protect us. We are going to have a very peaceful demonstration. The demonstration we are going to have is just to afford us the opportunity to register our in a peaceful manner, to let the whole world understand that this current government is suppressing the dissenting opinion. We cannot have a government where the citizens cannot have the opportunity to express their frustration and disappointment. This government gave the Ghanaian people a lot of promises, lofty promises, and they have not even achieved 5% of the promises they gave the people. And what happened? When you speak, when you express yourself, when you share your frustration, when you register your disappointment, then the police, the national security is used to come after you. We can't build a nation that way. Even Jerry John Rawlings of blessed memory, who was a military man, allowed people to express themselves. So we are saying that enough is enough. Enough of the selective application of justice. There were NDC people who were before trial. This government promised the Ghanaian people that they will fight corruption at all levels. Is that not the promise they gave us? Today, the NDC members who were before trial have been given the opportunity to go and enjoy life freely.
Those are matters of the law, isn't it?
They are matters of the law, and they are matters of conscience. The law does not operate in a vacuum. Can you tell me that Opuni was not before trial? Can you tell me that Sedinam Temakru, who was tried in absentia, who was a fugitive of justice, who was supposed to face 10 years sentence, all of a sudden has been acquitted just because her party is in government? Is that how we build nations? So how can you tell me you want to fight corruption, and those people who have squandered state money, Sedinam Temakru misappropriated over 90 million Ghana cedis? The Sagreme issue, it was about $200 million. Collins the other and two others.
But Krabia, you know that when you look at the judgment of the Court of Appeal, they will tell you that the prosecution could not prove beyond reasonable doubt that indeed these claims leveled against Sedina were true. They were more or less asking Sedina to prove the case for the prosecution.
I tell you, we've heard the former Attorney General speak, Honorable Godfrey Damian speak. In fact, all the information the NDC is trying to send out just to shape the narrative is not true. It is not true. And even our law, I am not a lawyer, no, you are not a lawyer, but the little I know is that even if there is some kind of infraction in respect of such documentation, the law is not that you will just acquit without conducting a thorough investigation into the matter. Look at the speed at which she was acquitted. You see, you cannot play out the intelligence of the people. The Ghanaian people are so discerning. The Ghanaian people of yesterday is not the Ghanaian people of today. People are.
We know the Attorney General has filed an application to stay the execution and also appeal the decision of the court. Isn't that satisfactory?
They want to do as Clock John. They want to do as Clock John. It is the same Attorney General who showed no interest in the matter. Okay, it is the same Attorney General. It is the same Attorney General who filed nolli prosequi, so that he can set people like Opuni, people like Olizada free. We are saying that we are building a nation. If a government promises to fight corruption, you fight the corruption at all levels. You don't fight corruption by just giving privileges to your party people, and then all you can do is to be going after your to be fighting corruption.
How is the demonstration going to take from today? From here, where do we go, and what is expected? I know that you are going to submit about 3 petitions. What is the nature of the demonstration today?
We are all converging here. There's a park directly opposite Supreme Court. We are converging here. Our first stop will be the Supreme Court. We are giving the first petition to the justices of the Supreme Court, because the justices of the Supreme Court are the custodians of our laws. It appears that there's some perceived intimidation going on. It appears that our justices, and of course, they will be justified to be scared, because look at the manner in which this government removed the former Chief Justice. If you are justices of court, if you are a judge, you will be mindful. You will be mindful. No, they are human beings. They are like us. Our respected justices, they are human beings. They are human beings. So if they consider the manner in which their boss The Chief Justice was removed. If you are a judge, you will be careful. But the Ghanaian people want to tell them that we are behind them. They are the only people that give us assurance. In this country, the only place that you can go for justice, the only place that you can have defense, the only place that your rights will be protected is through the court of jurisdiction. And if they are abusing the court, then where can you and I go when we are being chased after? So we are telling the court that they should stand firm and protect the Constitution. They should not be intimidated. The Ghanaian people are in full support of them. Then again, we'll go and present the second petition to His Excellency the President at Jubilee House. It will be after presenting the Supreme Court one, we'll use the Yoko stretch through moving Pickafio Sunderland Road straight to. Then the final one will be the one to the Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Speaker of Parliament. That one we've nominated our leadership in Parliament, led by Honorable Afenyomakin and some party officers, to send that one to Speaker. So all in all, it's going to be a very peaceful exercise. But let me throw this question. We've gathered our intelligence. For those people who are thinking that they can come and mix up with us to foment trouble, they need to review their notes. They need to advise themselves. Because they will be fished out. And when they are fished out, their laws will deal with them. We are not doing this once and then we will end. Proceed to Kumasi.
The same demonstration?
The same demonstration in Kumasi. We will move to Takoradi. We'll go to Sunyani. We'll go to Cape Coast. We will go to all the regional capitals until this president will show to us that they are ready to respect the laws of the land. We will not allow anybody. We will not allow anybody.
Reporting live from the Supreme Court right here in Accra.
So, Christian Yali there with a bit more in terms of details. And so we realize that protest is on and it's live across so they're moving from the Supreme Court, right?
Yes, so they say they're converging opposites. I think there's the community center area across from the Supreme Court, and I believe that's where they've kicked things off from. So as you heard from Christian Yali speaking to some key individuals involved in the protest, the activity has started. I'm guessing eventually they'll end up
at the presidency.
They'll
go to Parliament first. That's what we understand. Okay. Parliament first, and then they will end up at the presidency, where they are expected to drop a petition as well, and then we'll see where that takes all. So just
across from us here at Jubilee House, that's where they're going to end up.
Yeah, that's why. So this morning,
at the security,
you see a lot of barricades around. The
security zone, former security zone, where at one point young Ghanaians wanted to demonstrate and were prevented from doing so. Okay. That's okay. I just wanted to double check if that's the same place.
Spot. That's the same spot.
That individuals are now freely able to access to let their gripes be known and let their issues be heard and let their petitions be received and let their grievances be aired. Okay, sure.
Democracy is under attack, Marina. Democracy is under attack. I don't think so.
3FM 92.7.
Compared to the last 10 years, comparatively, I think the last year and a half has been better from a citizen's perspective. I mean, people are entitled to their own opinions, but
absolutely.
I mean, my opinion is based on facts. Do we want to say that for the year and a half that this new government has been in power, democracy has been assaulted more than the 8 years of the erstwhile government? It's profound.
I mean, is that comparison? I mean, I'm not even playing devil's advocate, but I mean, is that comparison really maybe necessary in this conversation? I mean, every individual, every citizen has the right to demonstrate, and I like to see demonstrations. It means that as a people, we understand that we can make our grievances known. My only gripe is that for the a party that at one point made it impossible for the youth to access the Jubilee House to freely. I'm thinking, how do they feel when they make their way there and they are greeted and their petition received?
No, if democracy was under attack, would they have this opportunity to demonstrate? That's the point I was making.
Without that frustration that we saw in the past.
Yes. The
kind of frustration we saw in the past.
If democracy was under attack, we wouldn't see what we're seeing today, because if you quite remember, I mean, young people in this country have been abused. They have been abused, assaulted as a result of bad governance. And we've seen some of these people sleeping on the wrong side of their bed for believing in themselves and speaking truth to power.
2 weeks.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, we saw electoral killings, deaths. We've seen police take a knee and fire shots at demonstrators, So I can't think far.
Well, I mean, of the many things they are speaking to, and I understand.
You
Helen,
see, and that's what makes it different. Listen, dissenting.
She's a first-hand.
You were all here with me 2 years ago when the Shege was legging. We were in this together. And now we were in this. Just even trying to cover it. Listen, dissent is a very important part of any thriving democracy.
Economy, yeah.
We need dissent. We need the divergent views. But sometimes it's very difficult to
come to terms
with what it is for the NPP that they are wanting to protest against, when just some 2 years ago we all had a front row seat to what happened, Kujo, as you said, when young people wanted to speak truth to power. And see, for me, I always want us to put it to the establishment. That is what we're here to do. I'm not here to pander to any side of the divide. I want everything to work as it should work. And if something is not going well, certainly citizens have the right, but it is so difficult. It is so difficult to sometimes align with that point of view when you go back in time and just see how excuse my word, barbarically things were handled.
Yes.
Young people manhandled, remanded without any proper reason. It was
under
absolutely
human rights law.
It was absolutely abhorrent. So today, if there's pushback, I don't think the party should be too surprised by that. You can't begrudge anybody that feeling that I'm feeling this morning because of what we've seen. It's like today you can get all the way to the Jubilee House, but we wanted to speak truth to power, let our grievances be known as citizens, and the kind of pushback as if it's not in the Constitution that we're allowed to do so. Today you can mass up and make your way there. Is it fair?
But how can you disinfect when
there's a story I've not told about the very first Occupy Jubilee protest.
Is it the very first one?
Yeah,
and
I think that was in 2020.
By Occupy
yes.
Ghana?
No, by
Face the Democracy Have Face the Country.
Right? Where they were prevented from coming to the Jubilee House. That day we covered the protest, and I had been there the entire day, and we were leaving, we were returning. When we got to the frontage of the Jubilee House, because vehicles were not coming through, there are two individuals. No, it's just one individual who actually witnessed what it is that transpired. I was still using this phone. I've been using this phone for a very long time. Richmond Tano, who is a camera person in the office, was the only person who actually also witnessed this. And I'm going to say this for the first time because of the angle you've gone with this protest. And then obviously, I mean, they are justified to go about protesting that. And this story, I don't say in any way to demean what is happening.
Their right to protest.
Their right to protest. So the protest was done. I mean, they weren't allowed.
3FM
they began to disperse the demonstrators, and I was making my way back to the office because from 37 to here, and there were no vehicles, so I was I was working with Richmond Tunnel. And when we got to the Jubilee House, you find out the military, they have this very slight armored vehicle which has a gun on top, had been driven almost to the entrance, I don't want to say in wait of young and armed protesters. I don't want to draw that inference, but the vehicle had been moved forward and there were military people who were stationed in the dark. Yeah. Who were heavily armed, who had been stationed there. So when I saw it, I mean, I'm a journalist, I was pricked. I was like, did you move military vehicle to this place because of an armed protesters? So I took my phone to record. Not knowing the military were you will not see them. They were in the dark. So I recorded the video and I was making then he pounced on me.
What?
He said, "Hey, what are you seeking to do?" Then he surrounded me. I've never, in fact, I never told this story to anybody.
Breaking news.
Oh, it's nothing breaking, right? It's just one of those days where I've just decided to share. You can imagine.
Yeah.
I wasn't physically assaulted though. That I need to state on.
Were you scared?
In honesty, I wasn't actually.
Okay.
I wasn't. The first thing was I should hand over my phone.
I see.
Because I had to delete the video. Yeah, I had to delete.
Oh, so you had to hand over your phone.
I resisted.
They wanted you to hand over your phone.
I resisted.
A media person.
Yeah, I resisted for a good period of time, but eventually, I mean, you're surrounded. It's better safe than sorry.
Of course.
You're gonna be doing justice for Mawina and all of that. I'm not interested in doing justice campaigns, right? So I handed the phone, and then they deleted the videos and everything. It was very dark. I can say one of the many things which left me sound was the fact that there was another individual who was there. Richmond Tunnel was there.
We can still recover the videos, though, if you want. That's just by the way.
Did you have to also go in your deleted folder?
Yes, we went into the deleted folder. They knew. They said, "Oh, you saw iPhone into call." I know we can still recover.
Yeah.
Anything which is deleted, which has been on this phone,
it's in the cloud.
Can be recovered. So they did it, and then that video was deleted, and it went on for like a good 10+ minutes.
I see.
I was there. I mean, I was completely surrounded. But Tunnel was by the side of the road and was watching on. And so he was like still around and didn't leave. He didn't run away or anything. And then I think the person who was in charge of the regiment there decided to speak to me and said, why did I try to record? I was trying to explain, say, don't talk. You asked me a question, I'm trying to explain. Then there was a back and forth and I was like, all right, thank you very much. He said, don't thank me, just leave. And then I left. I mean, I didn't tell anybody about it because
when I see armed forces or armed men behave like that, I laugh because they forget that
there will be civilians one day.
Not the fact that there will be civilians one. Is your mother a civilian? Is your father a civilian? Is your wife also a service personnel? Are your children service personnel? Your children go to school with my children. Are they civilians? So sometimes it's laughable because I always say that they should be mindful because Ghana has gone past the phase where some of those atrocities done in the dark, would be any more supported. Yeah.
So I mean, I just recall that to suggest that back then, just to back up what you were saying, that it was really a Herculean task for anybody to come around the precinct of the Jubilee House, but
I mean, it was something else. The road was quiet. All you see armed policemen stationed there, and I was thinking, what is our crime? What really have we done? I mean, some of the reasons that were given by the police service at the time, and our military service was that some intelligence had been picked that people were looking to foment serious trouble. And I mean, to some degree, what can you really say as a civilian if some intelligence has been picked to that effect and they say they're doing their job? What can I say? What can I say about that? But it was unfortunate. Today you can protest all the way to the Jubilee House and have your petition received. How wonderful.
But I mean, for the NPP though, I mean, they feel democracy is under attack, and in fairness, right? There have been a number of arrests in relation to free speech-related matters. I think Fourth Estate did some work, which suggested that there have been more arrests in the first 18 months than there's ever been during the entire 8 years of the former administration. And so those matters come up, and we continue to debate it as to whether criminal summons should be used for persons who freely engage in conversations like that. When you bring that up, what appears to be a distinction is the fact that outside of what is free speech are elements of threats, right? And that is what they always come back to, the fact that the persons move outside of the remit of free speech to threat on the lives of individuals and what have you, the first gentleman of the land, amongst other things. And so it comes down to that. But by all means, there is some level of concern as to the numbers. And I've been here on this platform, I've said time without number that prosecuting persons because of what they say, we will condemn in no uncertain terms the sort of vitriol we're seeing on social media these days, right? People go live and they say all manner of things.
Yes. Irresponsibility.
It's irresponsible. It's something that should not be countenanced. It's something that should not be supported in any way or form.
Yeah.
But is it a crime? Obviously, there will be portions of the law which can be found to deal with that. While at that, here's a curious thing that I've observed. There are 2 Ghana Today Facebook platforms which engage in sensationalism and sometimes outright falsehoods.
Often. Outright falsehoods.
Often. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Those 2 pages.
Yeah.
If we say we are dealing with misinformation, disinformation,
Mama, the president
respectfully,
said we can use
cyber,
we can use IP.
Those accounts should not exist.
And so I've been wondering, like, hey, you can use IP. So how come those?
No, because I'm not like they are enjoying certain levels of freedom, just misinforming.
Yes.
And
constantly,
actually.
Yeah.
And I ask myself, if we say we are fighting
it's a national security threat,
misinformation,
and it must be dealt with as such.
How are we allowing, and they are garnering crazy followership,
yes,
allowing accounts we know are spreading outright falsehoods.
Yeah.
2 accounts.
Yeah.
And without shying away or mincing words, one for the NPP, one for the NDC.
Yes.
So they cannot return and then come and be talking about misinformation, disinformation, when there are accounts dedicated to each of them engaged in this.
I mean, cybersecurity boss, Divine Agbesi, he's a sharp guy, very learned, and also good at what he does. I think this would be my 100th appeal to him, to ensure that we do not have those pages in our space. We don't have such interfering with our governance and our politics. It is not healthy for our democracy.
Right, okay, we'll do sports now, and then when we return, a bit more into the memorial and then the protest, which is ongoing, and then we'll get a bit more into other matters for you here on the show as well. But Mutala Yakubu is here. We'll get into sports right now after these of commercials, right? A quick commercial here for you, and then we get into sports.